You don't feel behind in your 20s because you actually are, but because you have been pressured to feel that way. These days, we are told to be at a certain place at a certain age. As a man, at age 30, you're supposed to be married or have a relationship. You're supposed to have your career in check and have it all figured out. All of these things basically lead us to feel more pressured that if that is not the case, that we are somehow behind in life. But why the hell should we believe that? Who tells us when we should have what? Who's telling me that with age 30 I need to have a relationship and have this and that? I believe that everyone is going to live out their own life's timeline. Their own life's timeline basically means that you live your life in a way that is different to others. And things will come at a time that is different to others. When I was 30 years old, I felt very behind. I didn't have a relationship, and my career, I still didn't know what to do. So, was I truly behind in life? I felt that way, and that only made things worse. But it was when I understood that we never have enough. We will never feel like we've arrived. Such a thing doesn't exist. There's a nice example that I've heard of where there's a person that is walking around looking at a person with a bicycle, feeling envious, wishing that if only they had that bicycle. The person on the bicycle, however, looks at a person inside a car that if only they had a car, it would feel so much better. But inside of that whole picture, there's another person. That person is someone who can't walk, who's in a wheelchair, only wishing that if they could walk, things would be better. The message behind all of this is basically that no matter what place you are in, you will always look for more. You will always feel like you're behind because you're trying to get somewhere. And if that is the case, how can you not feel behind in life? Because you don't have the car yet, you don't have the girl yet, you don't have this. Unless we focus on the things we actually have instead of the things we want to have, I think it's only going to happen that we will always feel behind in life. It can't actually change. Sorry about the cut. Seems like I wasn't permitted to walk there. What I need you to do is to basically get an overview of your life. I want you to take out a pen and paper. Go to a place where you have 20 minutes for yourself. You know you won't be disturbed. Once you do that, I want you to ask yourself the following questions and answer them fully and honestly. No filtering, no nothing. How was life 5 years ago? Why do I actually feel behind in life? And if I could change one thing, what would that be? What would I need to actually not feel behind? And you will quickly realize that the things you actually feel and believe you are behind for, be it not having a relationship or anything like that, is not actually what makes you feel behind in life. It's what you've been told that you need to have. And more often than not, it's the emotions stuck inside of us that drag us to a place where we feel like we are behind. Once you do all of these things, you're going to quickly realize that things aren't maybe as bad as they are. And even if you do feel behind in life, you might now have a picture of where you actually want to go, what life should look like, and you can now start to work towards that. I truly wish that you can just take a step back and see life for what it is, because no matter what place you reach, you will always feel behind in life. So until we learn to be okay in the place that we are at, and that we will always work towards a version of ourselves that is somewhere in the future, but it's okay where we are at, but it's okay where we are at, then I believe we can live a better life and work towards a greater life. Hit subscribe.